How do you develop that skin thick enough to handle criticism and rejection? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. This is a real fake it till you make it situation. So you are going to have to send your work out, and I recommend starting small. Start with a writing group, start with a writing partner, someone who you know and trust who will be kind to you, who isn't going to try to eviscerate you. But even though they are trying to be kind and you have sent your very best effort, they are still going to have something constructive to say about your work. And that constructive feedback is going to feel an awful lot like criticism to you. Now, if you can receive this for the first time online, like have them email this to you before you go to a writing group, or just do this all virtually online rather than meeting with somebody face to face, that is going to be preferable because your first reaction is to get angry. You will be furious that they did not understand your work, that they did not see your vision and your genius, and they are so dumb and stupid. How could you possibly have thought they could handle your book, baby? This will be your first reaction every single time that you get feedback for the rest of your career, so go ahead and get used to that feeling now. But if you fire back with anger, or if you're like me and when you get angry you cry, you don't want to be doing that face to face. You need to do that in the privacy of your own home. You should have somebody that you can vent that anger out to. If it is a scream into a pillow, vent to your partner, text your friends who are not part of this writing group. Let that anger out someplace else. You are still going to be angry because you need to respond to this person, but you say thank you. You don't feel like saying thank you. I know you don't. But you're going to say thank you so much for this feedback, and then you are going to just let it sit. Let it sit for a couple of days, ideally. If you are the sort of person that can't let it sit and you're going to have to like pick at it and scratch at it, at least walk away for a few hours. Let your like blood pressure come down. And then look at the feedback and let your feelings sort of get in the way, but try to find a way to look at it and say, is there merit to this feedback? Sometimes there's not. Every once in a while, there will be feedback that is just so wrong and off base that you're like, well, this person did not get me at all, and that's okay. And you can just dismiss it. A lot of times there is merit. Even if they have identified the wrong solution or the wrong piece that needs to be fixed, there is merit to what they are saying. Oftentimes, if a reader says, well, this ending fell flat, it's usually because you didn't foreshadow it or put the pieces that you needed to earlier on. So they have recognized a problem, but they really have diagnosed more of a symptom rather than the cause of it. And that can be extremely helpful for incorporating that feedback because you, as the creative person, get to say, well, they were wrong. You're still going to fix some stuff. You're still going to end up addressing their concerns, but you get to have the little voice inside of you to be like, they were wrong. It helps. I know it sounds petty and it sounds childish, but it helps. If you are a person who is prone to overwhelm, I recommend sending your manuscript out to only one person at a time so that way you don't get two sets of conflicting feedback on the exact same manuscript because that will happen and that can be very difficult and daunting to deal with if you are the type of person who tends to get anxious and overwhelmed. You can also help direct feedback and send it out to somebody early on and say, listen, I know the line level writing on this is not good. I'm asking you to please just look at story structure stuff. Now, don't be surprised when later on you send it to somebody else and they're like, hey, the line level writing on this is not great because you haven't fixed any of the line level stuff. You've only fixed the story structure stuff. So if you're going to direct feedback, you need to be ready to hear multiple levels of feedback at different stages throughout that process. And then you're going to have to learn to deliver feedback to other people as well. And then it gets easier to realize, like, oh, I can see how this person is trying to be kind to me because I had a really hard time being kind to somebody else about something similar. Learning to deliver feedback and learning how to deliver constructive criticism, not just criticism, helps you to be able to receive that criticism when it comes in from another direction.